All right, let's talk about someone who is, well, impossible to ignore. Imran Khan. He's had at least three distinct lives: global sports icon, populist prime minister, and now a political prisoner. It's a story of incredible highs and unbelievable lows, and we're going to try to make sense of how one person can be all of these things. And this really says it all, doesn't it? On the one hand, prime minister, the leader of the country just a few short years ago. On the other, his new title. KVD number 804, prisoner number 804. That contrast, right there, is the heart of this whole drama. So you have to ask yourself, how on earth does this happen? How does a man celebrated around the world, a man who captained his country to its greatest sporting triumph, end up in a jail cell, fighting for his entire political existence? Well, to figure that out, we have to rewind. So let's go back. Act 1, the icon. Long before the politics, the rallies, and the court cases, Imran Khan was a household name. He was known to many as the Lion of Lahore. You know, back in the 80s, he kind of lived this double life. On the cricket field, he was an absolute beast, a fierce competitor. But off the field, especially in London, he was a fixture on the social scene, a regular in the tabloids, often called a playboy. It's just wild to think about that guy compared to the conservative, pious political leader he would later become. But let's be clear, all that fame was built on some serious talent. For those of you who aren't huge cricket fans, just know this. He achieved something called the all-rounders triple. It means he was elite at both batting and bowling, and that's incredibly rare. Think about it, only 11 players in the entire history of the game have ever pulled that off. And yeah, the stats absolutely prove it. You can see the runs, the wickets, but check out that bowling average. Now in bowling, a low number is what you want, and 22.81, that's just ridiculously good. It basically means he was a nightmare for batters. Truly one of the best of his generation, no question. But all that skill, all that success, it all came together in one single iconic year, 1992. That was the moment, the absolute pinnacle of his career as an athlete. So get this, it's the 1992 World Cup. Pakistan is just about to get knocked out. They're on the ropes. And this is where you see Khan's leadership really shine. He gets the team together and tells them they have to fight like cornered tigers. And what happens? It works. They stage this incredible comeback and win the whole thing, Pakistan's first and only World Cup. After that, he wasn't just a superstar athlete. He was a national hero, period. So what do you do after a career like that? Well, he took all that love and respect and poured it into something deeply personal. He built a world-class cancer hospital named after his mother whom he had lost to cancer. And the way he funded it is key. He didn't just go to big corporations. No, he went directly to the people, crisscrossing Pakistan, collecting donations from everyday folks. That built this incredible bond of trust. People saw him as a man who made a promise and actually kept it. And that trust, that became the foundation for his next life. Act 2, the insurgent. If his first act was a sprint to the top of the sports world, this next one was a long, hard, uphill battle in politics. I mean, just look at this journey. He starts his party way back in '96, but for years, he's basically on the sidelines, a political nobody. He gets one lonely seat in 2002. It takes another decade before his party even becomes a real player. We're talking about a 22-year grind. It was a marathon, not a sprint, from total outsider to the highest office. So what was his secret? How'd he pull it off? Well, his message was simple and it was potent. He tapped into this feeling that people were just fed up with business as usual. He went after the powerful political families that had run Pakistan for generations, calling out corruption. He promised a fresh start, a new Pakistan. And that message, that anti-establishment, populist vibe, it really caught fire, especially with young people and the middle class. Which brings us to Act 3, the leader. After that 22-year climb, in 2018, he actually did it. The icon, the insurgent, he reached the summit. He was Prime Minister of Pakistan. But as it turned out, getting there was one thing. Staying there, that was a whole different story. So what did he do once he was in charge? Well, on the home front, he kicked off some big projects, like the ascent program, the biggest social safety net in the country's history, and a huge tree planting campaign. On the global stage, he was never shy about speaking out against Islamophobia, but his foreign policy definitely stirred the pot. I mean, visiting Moscow on the exact day the invasion of Ukraine started, that sent shockwaves through Western capitals, for sure. And then, things started to unravel. The economy was struggling, political partners started peeling away, and his government lost its grip on power. In April 2022, it all came crashing down. He made history, but not the good kind. He became the first ever prime minister in Pakistan's history to be kicked out of office by a vote of no confidence. And this is where the story takes a really dark and dramatic turn. Welcome to Act 4, The Fall. See, getting removed from office wasn't the end of the story. Oh no, it was just the beginning of a complete and total freefall. Things got chaotic, fast. He hit the streets, leading these huge protest marches. At one of them, he was shot. He actually survived an assassination attempt. Then the legal system came for him. He was arrested in May of 2023, and the country erupted in riots. By early 2024, the convictions started piling up: state secrets, corruption, and he was hit with long prison sentences. And when I say the pressure has been immense, I am not kidding. Since he was kicked out of office, he has been hit with more than 186 legal cases. Just think about that number for a second. It's not just a few charges. It's an all-out legal war against him. So what does Khan say about all this? He says it has nothing to do with justice and everything to do with politics. He claims that Pakistan's very powerful military establishment and his political enemies have basically teamed up to wipe him off the political map for good. Now, of course, that's a huge accusation, and it's one that both the military and the government completely deny. So that leaves us with the big question, right? Who is Imran Khan? Is he a national hero taken down by a corrupt system? A populist leader who flew too close to the sun? Or is his story just a cautionary tale about power, politics, and ambition? The truth is, his story isn't over. The final chapter of his legacy is being written right now, from inside a prison cell.
Brought to you by Asian Historian. Like, subscribe, and follow.